This is the Banyan archive. Over 2,500 videotapes of Caribbean culture gathered over the past 40 years. Every tape here has earned its place, its protection guaranteed by our conviction of its significance and value in history. That's why we built this climate control vault, to ensure their survival. 40 years, up and down the Caribbean. You know, few people realize it's not much more than 50 years since broadcast quality videotape was developed. In fact, when we started 40 years ago, the video cassette had only just been invented. Come, let me show you. This is the first videotapes that we recorded on. Came from the first portable video recorder, a reel-to-reel tape. When cassettes came in, we used these for the 70s and 80s, and these for the 80s and 90s. The turn of the century, we graduated to digital videotapes such as these. Now, of course, all production is done directly into digital medium like a memory stick or a hard drive. So you could say that the Banyan collection spans the history of video. And now, after 4 years of work, every single tape here has been digitized. That means that every single scene, every single sequence in every single tape is instantaneously accessible simply by a click on the computer. What does that mean, though? Culture and social sciences research is heavily invested in text, and video is often seen as a sort of sideshow, a bit like an illustration in a text, and not as a resource in its own right. But with the digitization of this archive, that has to change. I'd like to sketch a few ways in which a video archive offers researchers unprecedented opportunity, and in fact opens up fields hitherto poorly served by text. A most obvious example, of course, is dance. Choreographers, practitioners, and researchers have, until now, to rely almost solely on the fading memories of an older generation, those who are still with us, to reproduce, restage, or study classical and traditional dances. Video is the only sure way to preserve dance. A similar point can be made about theatre. In fact, whole areas of anthropological research are suddenly facilitated by video in the analyzing of festivals, religious practices, musical performance, oral culture, visual arts, etc. When your collection is the result of documentation by practitioners rooted in their culture and sensitive to its nuances and value, then elements previously supported only by text suddenly become alive with added significance and meaning. Let me tell you a story. When the digitization was complete, I presented it to the head librarian of the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine. I asked to suggest a topic we could look at. George Lambing was suggested. Of the 56 records in the database that were identified, we selected at random George Lambing's eulogy for Grenadian Prime Minister Maurice Bishop shortly after his murder in 1983. The occasion was a memorial service for Maurice held in the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Now, one could say all one needs to study the eulogy is a copy of the transcript. But look what you would miss. George Lambing's renowned facility as an orator, the sense of occasion, the emotion and purpose behind the delivery, the makeup of the congregation, Maurice's mother and sister, activists from Europe, North America and the region. There you see from the UK, poet Linton Kwesi Johnson and broadcaster and publisher Darcus Howe. But that isn't all. When people see recordings of their own history and culture, it is with more than just academic interest. There is a personal connection made. For example, the librarian asked me what steel band played at the service. The archive told us that it was Birdsong. She said, well, you know, I was playing in the band, and I was able to show her the band playing. And then she said, my niece sang at the service. I was able to show her her niece singing. Then she said, today is her birthday. I would love to give her a copy of that video. no problem. Personal connection. Another thing a video can do that other media can't is show a practitioner, whether an artist or craftsman, commenting on his own work as he creates. For example, distinguished watercolorist Jackie Hinkson explaining his techniques and his decision while actually painting.
Now, the introduction of lampposts and wires in my work.
When you have a collection as large as this and as old as this, you get cross-references within the archive itself. Not only do you see how people change over time, for example, Derek Walcott or C.L.R. James, but you also have records of people interviewed in childhood who later become significant figures in their own fields. For example, the internationally recognized steel pan soloist Duvon Stewart, seen here arranging and conducting a major steel band, Renegades, for this year's Panorama competition, was first interviewed at age 8 in a pan yard in Tobago in 1985. Or soca megastar Machel Montano at age 11 at home with his family band. And then again this year with his award-winning song for the carnival. These are just a few examples of the way this stunning digital video collection adds to the possibilities and tools for us to research and analyze our own lives. At long last, the voices of a post-independence Caribbean can be heard among the video records of the world, demanding attention in their own right and inviting appreciation for the region's richness and stunning complexity.